Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Tuesday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. I'm Tim, K3LR, and along with me today, as always, is Jeff, KB8ZWT. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, Tim?
Doing great, doing great. Jeff, I'll bet you're just getting ready to start raking leaves and taking care of those fall duties. The temperature drastically changed today
It sure did.
here in eastern Ohio and western Pennsylvania, and it is a reminder to get your antenna projects done because it is going to get cold.
Yes.
So all that tweaking that you want to do on your butternut, it's time to get busy because boy, is it gonna it's gonna get cold.
Yeah, I'm going to try to finish that up this weekend. But yeah, just had a caller a few minutes ago calling about got to get my parts before the snow starts to fly.
It's coming.
Yep.
The 1st of October will be here on Thursday, and that's another warning bell that things are going to change. But it's getting close to freezing some nights this week, so
yeah.
really will be something. And so customers, I'll bet, are excited. Some of our 705 customers to get their radios. Jeff, what do you think?
Oh yeah, talked to some today. They're ready to get that radio, excited. Some of them have called them back saying, I want the backpack and I want this and want that. They want to get all the accessories with that as well now.
Yeah, that the popularity of that small IC705 from ICOM,
yes,
is really going to be good. And I think you've had questions about, and it may have come in on social, when we will have off-the-shelf IC705s.
Correct.
And I'm being told that should be mid-October. That all the back orders will be taken care of, and there'll be enough stock coming from ICOM so that it'll be an in-stock, off-the-shelf item.
Good.
So we're just a few weeks away from that. That's not too bad. And so we have quite a few people in the chat room. We've got Sandy, DL1QQ, in from Germany.
Yep.
And she's got a picture of her new cat there. Also from Eastern Pennsylvania, it's Bill, K3HW, and Papa Uniform 1, Mike Papa Juliet from Rio de Janeiro down in Brazil. And Dino KL0S. Have you ever talked to Dino before, Jeff?
He normally
with Mark.
I think I have talked to him a couple times on the phone, actually.
Okay. And Ricky says, which of the HF brand is cheaper HF all band? Not sure what you're referring to. Is that an antenna, Ricky, or a radio? So you might want to clarify that. November Juliet 4 Zulu is in, and our friend Tim, K5TGS from Texas, K8 Charlie Victor Mike, and our friend Bill from Oklahoma City is in. And Mike says, looking to buy an amplifier a few months, we'll have about 900 to spend. What you recommend? Something with 120 volts? It's probably going to be what's that? The AL 811.
811, yeah.
Yeah, the AL 811 is about the lowest price amplifier going there. And from India, middle of the night, Victor Uniform 3, Radio Zulu Golf, and Greg NC7B, who was on last week. And did a great job. He says his 705 is between Ohio and Arizona. So he expects his on Thursday. And let's see, Reinhard from RF Kit is on with us, Delta Hotel 3, November Alpha Bravo. And we're starting to ship those as the orders come in as well. Jeff, I know you've been getting customers have been asking questions about power supplies.
Yes, the question is, should I get a linear power supply? Should I get a switching power supply? I hear the linear power supplies are very big, very heavy. What's the best for this radio and that radio? So yeah, a lot of power supply questions right now.
you know, linear power supplies have been around for a real long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, real long time. And here is a linear power supply. This is made by Astron.
Yep.
And it's kind of hard to see, but this is an Astron RS7. And you can see that it's good size, but it's only 7 amps. This would not power a you know, 100-watt radio. It wouldn't do it. And it's heavy. I mean, it's a good 12, 13 pounds. And look at its size. Now here, that it's got a transformer in it, a big transformer or iron, and then it has circuitry to take and regulate the voltage so that only 13.8 volts is delivered. But that's only good for 7 amps. Now look at this puppy.
Yeah.
This is a Samlex. This is one of my favorite switching power supplies. This is the Samlex SEC 1235. And I forget what the price is, but it's very affordable. I think $139, maybe something like that. Yeah. This is a switching power supply. So it's lightweight.
Yeah.
It's lightweight. And this will deliver 30 amps continuous and 35 amps peak. And it is there is more technology in here. There's a switching system that actually keeps you from having to have that heavy transformer.
Right.
Now, life is about trade-offs, right? Heavy weight for the linear, lightweight here, relatively low cost, but these can cause noise.
Right.
The linear power supplies are very quiet. In fact, you know, from an RF noise standpoint, you basically can't hear them, which is great. You don't want to have, you know, when you're pointing your antennas or close by antennas. This is one of the best switching power supplies in terms of noise. Some power supplies actually have a noise null adjustment.
Right.
Now, Jeff, what power supply are you using on the 7200 and the 7300 there?
I have an old PowerWorks, the SS30DV that was given to me some years ago, and I've been using that, and seems to be working pretty well. But it's time for me to upgrade that to something newer.
Okay, and so that's a switching power supply?
Yeah, it's a switching power supply.
Okay.
Yeah,
so it's
very small,
relatively lightweight.
Yeah,
and small. And so Ricky says he's looking for a low-cost radio. Well, it doesn't get any better than the IC7300.
No.
I mean, Jeff, if you know the bigger bang for the buck.
Yeah, no, that's quite a radio. Like I say, I upgraded from the 7200. I still use it, but that 7300 is it's quite a radio. I'm glad I finally made the change.
Yeah, for right around $1,000, it is fabulous. And let's see, John says, I'm looking at a Geochron to see what time it was in India. Yeah, well, you know, I love looking at the Geochron. You just cannot,
you
do. Can't get enough of that. And let's see, Ron McCubbin, KC5, Queen Charlie Victor, Racy Ron, good friend of mine from Oklahoma City and a tremendous club member of the Edmond Amateur Radio Service. Great bunch of guys down there. And Michael Coulter says hello, WHCI. And he's on from Xenia, Ohio. And Michael will be a guest on the show on Friday. And Michael will be coming on. And so we're going to have a good time with Michael. And of course, it was pretty sad to see that the old Hara Arena, I think the bulldozers have finally got it. And saw the last photos there.
Yeah.
And oh, here's Scotty. Great subject matter today. WK3N. Scotty just lives north of me, and I was taking a look at some of his DXCC totals. I was looking in CQ magazine, and this guy is right at the top. He's got 340 countries worked.
Wow.
I mean, and OH2BH coined the term that WK3N never sleeps, and I agree wholeheartedly with that. And nice to have you on, Scotty. And let's see. Sorbello says that I hope you guys are well, and he got his DX Engineering catalog, so that's good.
Good.
Very glad to hear that. And let's see. KB8UUZ says, I'm using the RS35M. It's a linear power supply. That's a big power supply.
That is, yeah.
You know, but that's dead quiet. No
Yes,
RFI problems whatsoever. And let's see, we got Dave Scott. He says, I'm using the Yaesu FP1030 for 25 years. Changed the fan once, and it's a fabulous power supply. So glad that's working good for you. And Ricky says okay on the Astron. And let's see, Parky says P-Cars uses the Samlex power supplies for the 4 radios at the club site. So at K8BF, they're using that Samlex power supply.
Yeah, that's a good power supply.
I love it. Well, we sell these like crazy.
We do. Yep.
And they're very, very reliable. Just really are. And let's see, we've got John, the tall guy, K3STL. Great to have my late work lunch with Tim and Jeff. So, boy, I hate to see what happens the other days of the week.
Yeah.
And then Dino says he uses a crane to move his Astron RM50. We've got one of the RM70s up at our repeater site running 3 repeaters. And boy, it takes 3 or 4 kids to move it.
Yeah.
My days of moving that big, heavy linear power supplies are over. And Kevin, W6AAE, says, what's my opinion of the FTDX 3000? Well, all I know is a lot of guys really like that radio.
Yep.
They really do. You know, I have used it at the store. Jeff, you had one.
Yep, absolutely.
There.
Yep.
And I really like the way it's very smooth. The audio is great. So it's a good radio, but I have never used one in a contest or other than to make a few QSOs from the store.
Right. Well, actually, a week or so ago, I had a caller call in. He has that radio, and he was looking to see if we had any in stock because he was buying one for his son, who just upgraded to General. And he swears by that radio. Really likes it. Great radio.
Yeah. So certainly can't go wrong with it. And I know several guys that just love them. And Jamie Lee Schwartz is on. And also Bill says, how is the noise on the Astron SS10? You know, I have not looked at that, Bill, but the Astron power supplies, I think, are really good. The I have an SS30 that is powering my ID 5100 over there, but and I've never had any noise trouble with that. So I would expect Astron is a real strong brand, and I would expect it to be just fine. And Doug W2GT says his shack is powered with an RS35. So that's a linear power supply.
Yep.
And 35 amps. And John says, thanks for the heads up on the SSB electronics VHF UHF switch. He got one and it works great.
Good.
And so Jamie Lee says she's watching while commuting on the bus. Hello from Billings, Montana. Wow. That's dedication, watching from the bus. And John says the FTDX 3000 is an awesome rig, packed with features. I just sold mine to go get a Flex 6400. And see, we have great radio. Just bought mine last month, so a lot of guys happy with the FTDX 3000. And you know, that's the great thing, having 4 radio manufacturers that are really strong.
Absolutely.
You know, Linco, Kenwood, Yaesu, and ICOM. And you know, throughout the years, these radios just keep getting better and better and better, and more features, and they very rarely break. You know.
Right. And to be honest, you can't go wrong with either of them. I mean, they all have their good qualities. So yeah.
You know, it comes down to, like, you like the IC 7200, Jeff.
Correct. Yes, I do.
And you like the way it's laid out. You like the ruggedness.
Yep.
I'm also big on ergonomics too, and
Right.
that's why the 7851 has been
Mm-hmm.
it's been the best radio I've ever used in
Right.
50 years of almost 50 years of being a ham.
Well,
Yeah.
what kind of surprised me about the 7200 is, I used that for Parks on the Air there for a while, and then I switched over to the Yaesu 891. Telling you what, that's a great radio too. I mean, for the mobile use and Parks on the Air, that's the radio for me right
Yeah,
now.
and a lot of guys can go to the reviews area at dxengineering.com, and you can see posted reviews by verified customers on what they think of a radio. So I
Mm-hmm.
always like to go look at the reviews. That's a good way to pick a radio, and maybe even email some of those guys that did the reviews and even ask more information. Or
Mm-hmm.
of course,
Yeah.
Our extensive sales and support team, we've got Kenwood guys, we got ICOM guys, we got Yaesu guys, we got guys using Alinco. So we can always, if you have a question, you call in, and we're going to help you out.
Right.
And WD4PTJ says he's using an Astron RS35M, very quiet power supply. And Dave says the FTDX 3000, nice front end, good audio, and just a little bit fiddly with the menus. A lot of radio for the money.
Mm-hmm.
And N5NUK uses an RS12 for his dual band setup. And John says, oh, 7851, holy grail. I got to agree with you, John. Every time I use these radios 3 or 4 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And the 7851 is just phenomenal. Dave says he's got the FT891 for Mobile. And so let's see. And Bill Wilburn has an FT891 as well. And what are my views on the MFJ 4230? We actually tested some of those MFJ power supplies, and they were surprisingly clean. I mean, inexpensive and surprisingly clean. So don't have anything bad to say about but do take a look at the reviews before making your final decision.
Right.
And let's see, John says the best thing about the 7300 is the weight and size for a 100-watt full-featured radio. It's great to travel with. And when I activated Parks on the Air in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I've seen guys, I love they mount that 7300 to the dash of a truck down the road. You got 7300 there. It is a beautiful radio. So you got any plans for the weekend coming up, Jeff?
No, probably just working around the house a little bit, getting ready for winter time. Being off last week, I got a lot done, but we took several trips back and forth down to Holmes County, Amish country, for some lunch and other things, but probably some yard work this week.
Well, it's the California QSO party this weekend, which I believe is the largest QSO party of the year. There are more hams in California than any other state, and it was so I think the bands are going to be packed. That starts at 16 Zulu on Saturday and runs till 22 Zulu on Sunday. So it goes for a good long time. Lots of activity from California. And of course, tomorrow night you have Ham Nation. And then Thursday, we're going to have the manufacturer showcase here at DX Engineering. That's at 1830 Zulu on Thursday. And this week we have Dr. Jack from Compact Tenna.
Good.
And I know, Jeff, you've had some experience with the Compact Tenna.
I've actually used one on a park activation. Works very well. Put that up on the top of the roof of the truck. Worked very well. So
if you have questions about Compact Tenna, take a look at the Compact Tenna on the DX Engineering website ahead of the show, and then come with your questions, because we're going to have the guy. This is the inventor, and he's got patents on all this stuff. He's fabulous to work with. Yeah. So we're looking forward to that. And then the weekend special is at 20 Zulu on Friday. That's 4 p.m. Eastern. And our special guest this week is Michael Coulter, WHCI. And so for our final question here today, what do you engineering people think about the fact that I can shoot microwave hundreds of miles and it links with the other side? No curvature of the earth in the shot. The technology doesn't lie, as well as most of you do. Not sure I understand all that, Josh, but I'm a big fan of microwave as well. We have a 6 gig shot out of here, and so I really and last weekend I believe there was some UHF activity events going on. So big fan of the Earth is just flat, spreading information awareness. So all right, Papa Uniform 1 Lima, Mike November, nice to see you. And hi, Tim and Jeff. I use an Astron SS30 power supply, very low noise and strong. He powers his Flex with it. So, Christian, great to have you saying good things about the Astron SS30. So, Jeff, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Yes.
And when we'll do another edition of Tuesdays with Tim and Jeff. 73 from DX Engineering.
Take care.